Hello, everybody. Today I'm talking about planets that are debilitated by transit in Vedic astrology in 2019. This is Komilla Sutton, and we are going to discuss how Vedic astrology views these debilitations. And every year, we have the faster moving planets getting debilitated once a year. And the slow moving planets take much longer to get debilitated by transit. So we study these planets and then we make balance ourselves when the planets are debilitated. So the important thing to understand is that the moon gets debilitated once a month. So about 2.25 days, 2.5 days, moon is debilitated every month. So we need to know about that. Now that I will be addressing in my monthly roundups, because it's very difficult to do just about the moon, and it's not useful for you to know all the dates. It's better for you to know them monthly. But the important thing is that the moon gets debilitated once a month. And this year, what is happening actually for the moon is that Jupiter is in Scorpio and moon is debilitated in Scorpio. So Jupiter is actually supporting the moon, even though this is not a classical cancellation, but a moon doesn't feel so intensely negative when it's going into Scorpio. But the end of Scorpio is always a Gandanta point. And then it's actually more complicated for moon to be in Sagittarius this year because of the Saturn-Ketu conjunction. So I'll be addressing this monthly about the dates and everything in my monthly news information for you. So the next debilitation that we are looking at, or we look at all the other debilitations, but we have a Mercury that gets debilitated, then Mars, Venus, and Sun, in that order. 4 planets will be debilitated, and they are not debilitated together, but they will get debilitated throughout the year. So it is important to know when your ascendant lord is debilitated, moon lord as well, because the thing about the debilitation is that the planet is not acting according to what it's meant to do. So therefore, when the planet is debilitated, it could be in your natal chart, but we are talking about transit debilitations here. So when a planet is debilitated by transit, that means that for that particular time, you're acting out of normal behavior. You are doing something different, and it can represent the weakness of that energy. Obviously, all of us will experience debilitation according to the houses the planet rules. But in my experience, I've seen that when your Lagna Lord is debilitated, your ascendant ruler is debilitated. That is a very strong time for it. So to remember that when your ascendant ruler is not strong, but weak time for it, excuse me. Sometimes, I mean, it's an important time to remember. So that I have watched that, and it's also always good when the ascendant ruler is debilitated to think a little bit about your health. And that could be your annual time of doing things and working things out, what you're going to do, your health regime, what are you eating, how are you sleeping, all those things, and just general checkup for yourself. And also during debilitation, the confidence is not there about that quality of the planet. So these are some of the things to watch out for during debilitation. Debilitation is not a dangerous transit. It happens every year. what I'm making you aware is that you should be conscious of it and not be rushing into things during the debilitation of your ascendant ruler and your moon ruler. So because it's quite a long subject, I'm going to have 2 sections of this recording. So you'll have section 1 and section 2. So let us just start now with the debilitation. So a moon is debilitated at 3 degrees of Scorpio. But generally, the whole sign of Scorpio is its area of weakness. And at the end of the moon debilitation sign transit, it goes into Gandanta. So these are the things you have to watch out for, not just for the moon, for every planet. The degree of debilitation, you can also see the Nakshatra of debilitation, and finally the Rashi of debilitation. So Nakshatra, sign, and degree. So 3 things you are watching out for. But generally what I see is that the overall transit is not so easy. So to be conscious of that, so 3 planets, Moon, Mercury and Mars, their debilitations end in Gandanta. So we have to watch out for the Gandantas as well. But as I was saying, that the moon, I will be mentioning every month in the monthly newsletter. Moon's debilitation degrees and moon also with Saturn. So that will be an ongoing series. So just keep note of it. You can see it on YouTube. If you want to sign up for my newsletter on my website, then the link is at the below. You can sign up for the newsletter as well. So the first debilitation that we are going to experience is of Mercury. Mercury will get into debilitation in February. But this year, Mercury has 2 debilitations. Mercury will also have a cancellation of debilitation as well. So let us just look at Mercury's dates. So the first time Mercury is going to go into debilitation is 24th of February. So Mercury's debilitation sign is Pisces, and it is debilitated at 15 degrees is the exact degree of debilitation. So Mercury goes into Pisces on 24th of February, and then it will be in Pisces till 14th of March. So why it has the 2 sections of debilitation is that it's going to retrograde back. So actually Mercury goes up to 5 degrees of Pisces, and then it retrogrades from 5 degrees backward to 14 on 0 degrees Pisces on 14th of March. Now some people feel that when a planet is retrograde, it is very strong, and so it cancels debilitation. Now I don't agree with that, but I feel that the planet Mercury is still Pisces, but it's a bit eccentric and a bit different and strong. But Mercury in Pisces is not very rational, it's not very practical. So one of the things that all of us have to look out for Mercury in Pisces by debilitation is that are we making the practical choices in life? It's very good for spiritual stuff, it's very good for imagination and ideas, but sometimes we are not looking at the practical. So that is the thing that you have to be conscious of. And then Mercury will come back to its debilitation in April. And during April, the dates are 11th April to 3rd May. But actually during that time, Mercury is not really debilitated, because from, sorry, 15th April, Venus comes into Pisces, and Venus is going to cancel the debilitation. Cancellation by transit is only when either the ruler of the sign is exalted or own sign, or the Lord is in the house. So I like to think that when the ruler of the house where the planet is debilitated is in the house, then by transit, that is what supports the debilitation. So we have this Mercury debilitated, but cancelled from 15th of April onwards, because Venus is exalted there, is going to support Mercury. Mercury will still be in Pisces. Don't think that just because there's a cancellation, it changes the energy. It will still be in Pisces, but it's not going to be, it doesn't feel weak or lack of confidence in that energy. And as far as Mercury's debilitation is concerned in Pisces, it is for Gemini, it is their 10th house. So Mercury will be in the 10th house of career. And remember that you may not be making many rational decisions regarding your career during that time. But when Venus's support is there, it can bring some real positive energy. But you should still be careful about what decisions you're making, what you're not doing. That is very important here. Then for Virgo, the debilitation is in the 7th house. So you could be feeling very idealistic, romantic, impractical about relationships, what you expect your partners to do. They may also not be being very practical and rational. And so, you see, Mercury is the analytical sign, and it must need the evidence, it must know everything. But in Pisces, those rules are not there. So that is why it's important to understand how you feel. But generally, my idea is that when a planet is debilitated by transit, we are looking after ourselves, we are understanding our weakness and self-awareness, and watching our health as well, and being careful with it. So the second planet that is debilitated in 2019 by transit, and remember, these are Vedic astrology positions. They will not be the same in Western astrology. So these are, I'm talking Vedic astrology. So Mars is going to be debilitated, and actually just after the big Mars Rahu Saturn Ketu opposition, immediately after that Mars gets debilitated. And so therefore, if you are Aries or Scorpio, then you know that this is not the easiest time for you. This June, and then in June only Mars gets debilitated, and Mars is debilitated from 22nd of June to 8th of August. It doesn't have any difficult conjunctions during debilitation. It's 0 degrees Cancer to 30 degrees of Cancer. And Mars debilitation ends in Gandanta on 8th of August, so 7th, 8th, 9th of August, Mars is in Gandanta. But Mars goes from weakness to strength. Now, one of the things about Mars is the planet of action. He's the doer. He wants to do things. In Cancer, he wants comfort. He wants an easy life. So what you have to be careful here is that you're not wasting your energy. For everybody, not just if you are Aries or Scorpio, but you're concentrating and being conscious of that. But at the same time, there will be some aspect of taking it easy, not being so focused about what you want to do. And depending on what houses Mars rules, its debilitation is important to remember. And so Mars debilitated for Aries will be in the 4th house of home and happiness. So we can be seeking that, we can be seeking comforts, an easy life, and looking for some TLC, tender loving care as well. And that is not the nature of Mars. You know, Mars is a warrior planet. So he's a fire sign, so he goes into the water sign of Cancer. So he's getting loved up there, but it's not necessarily good for Mars. So, so that is for Aries. And for Scorpio, Mars is going to be in the 9th house of higher knowledge and education. And learning. So it's not, they don't appear to be negative positions, but generally Mars doesn't listen to advice very easily. And the 9th house for Scorpio is also, it's a Badhaka house. So Badhaka houses, I'll do another section on Badhaka houses. They are blocked houses, so there's something that we need to work with, we need to deal with at that time. So we feel blocked, we are trying to do things in different ways. So it is important that during this transit between June to August, important to not waste your energy, to be concentrating, and then also understanding that Mars is debilitated just now. Now Mars gets debilitated once every other year. So once every 2 years Mars gets debilitated. So it's not every year that you will get a debilitation of Mars. So I'm going to continue this. This is a series lecture. So the second part of it, where I'm going to discuss Sun and Venus debilitation in 2019, is in the next video. So thank you very much, and I will listen to your comments. Please do leave your comments. My website is komilla.com. Sign up for the newsletter, because there I will be talking about the debilitations and more effects as they happen. And of course I'll continue doing so in the channel as well. So please do like, appreciate. Thank you very much.